Good morning. Uh, Today is Sunday, the 14th of December, and I'm doing just a quick video just to follow up on some of my focus list ideas that I presented in last week's video, and also to present some new ideas that I'm looking at for this week, for the week of December 15th, 2025. First one we're going to look at is HCSG, and our plan from last week was to target an entry above this area. As we could see, it triggered, and it's still working. So had you enter right above this little flat base right here, this little mini resistance area, we would have still been in that one. Next up, we have GMAB, and we were targeting an early entry on a cup with handle, and it triggered a few times. It triggered on Tuesday and on Thursday, but on both times, if you were managing your risk correctly, you would have been stopped out. I think this one needs a little bit more time to settle down and firm up a little bit in this handle. This is quite normal what you will see with these cup with handle setups. It's quite normal for the handle area to be choppy, you know. And what's the reason for that? Yeah, who knows? Sometimes, the institutions or the big traders that control these names, they really, they try to, shake the tree as much as possible, so to speak, before, these things go on their big run. And why they do that? Well, if you get rid of you get rid of retail traders and early entries in there, then you less potential sellers as this thing started to go up, so it has a chance to make a bigger move. Up next, we have WK. As we can see, WK never triggered. This was a potential entry over this level. Sold off and just keep selling off. So that one, we just want to leave that one alone. Maybe it could firm up sometime next week, start forming higher lows, and offer an entry on a break of a downtrend line. Sonos, we were looking at Sonos as well, and the game plan was for it to pull back towards this previous entry point and firm up somewhere around that 9 moving average or that 21 moving average. Well, as we can see, it pulled back to the 9 and keep pulling back. Now it's, flirting right around that 20 period moving average, 21 EMA actually. So this one is still actionable, I think, but we're going to need to see it trade sideways and pretty much shape out that U bottom and then start moving back up, making higher lows. And this one could still provide a really good entry. We also look at Flowserve, FLS. And we were looking for Flowserve to pull back to the 9 or the 21 EMA, firm up and give us an entry. That is still in the works. So yeah, that one is still actionable. It never really triggered last week, but it's still actionable, still worth watching, but it might need a bit more time. We also look at ATI, and the plan was to target an early entry across these stops, and it triggered, and it's working nicely. Now let's see if we get a bit more follow through. I think what's more normal and natural for this one is just for it to trade sideways for a little bit, preferably on low volume, and then offer another entry as these moving averages start catching up. But if you had got involved right here, I mean, it's been a pretty nice trade so far. Then we had ATEC, and we were looking for this one to pull back and hold the 21 EMA. It did that, but kept going. So just leave that one alone. Never really triggered. Never offered that entry that we were looking for. Now, a few names that we want to keep an eye on for this week. Let's look at my focus list. So these are a few names that we want to look at this week. Coco, Vita Coco, as you can see, had a big move, really nice move, and just trading sideways and really tight and low volume. What we'll be looking for is just a break beyond these tops and just a continuation of the trend. Worst case stop right here. This could provide a really low risk entry at some point next week. I think what's even better though is for us to see something like this. Maybe Monday or Tuesday we see a nice little shakeout, and then start building these higher lows on the right side. That, in my opinion, will be an even more enticing entry. Tigo. So this one is a cellular company. I think they're involved in some sort of cellular network business. Earnings look really good. I mean, these numbers are incredible. Can you trust them? I don't know, because the sales numbers are going nowhere. So one thing you've learned from studying Bill O'Neill's work is that earnings increase need to be supported by a sales increase. And so fundamentally, this one seems a little suspect, but for a swing trade, who cares? As long as the price action confirmed, that's all. Manage risk after that. So I think that we've already seen a down trend line break, and it's firming up right around that 21 EMA. So I'm keeping a close eye on this one for an entry somewhere around that area. Vips holding. What are we seeing? What are we looking at here? Clean break of these stops. Higher lows being built. Suggesting that buyers are getting impatient. I think if this one break these stops out, we can really see an explosive move. Fundamentals a little bit scampy, but then again, for a swing trade, doesn't really matter that much. AMTM. This one is a new issue, relatively new issue. And what we have seen, if we look at the weekly chart, what we have seen is a break of this key level of resistance on the weekly, and it's holding pretty nicely. So chances are that if this one firm up and really get tight, it could continue its move higher, and we are targeting a little right on that train. Ideally, pull back and let these moving averages catch up a little bit and give us an entry somewhere around this area at some point next week. GMAB, yeah, we're looking at this one again. We just need a little bit more clean price action within this handle, and preferably, since we have tried it twice and failed, I'll rather see it break out and really get that uptrend going before I get involved again. AS Sports, these guys heavily involved in all the tennis and all the different sport gears, charging some crazy prices. Hence we see some huge earnings numbers supported by sales. Pre-tax numbers are pretty good as well. So cupboard handle broke out. Ideally, you want to see this one pull back towards the 9 and 21 day moving average and give us a nice low risk entry. And I think this one's something that has the potential to make a really big move. I mean, look at these earnings line. Fantastic. Pretty young company. Clear uptrend. Clear stage 2 uptrend. Just forming bases along the way. I think this one has the potential to do some great things. Rev Group. So I think these guys are in the RV business. Double bottom. Uh, this is your original, traditional IBD buy point. I'll rather see a handle, something of somewhat of a handle form, and give me a clean early entry that I can potentially add on to if we see a break of this double bottom traditional entry. Twilio, yeah, this one is so choppy. Probably one of my least favorite in this list this week. Anyway, what we're seeing is a move higher, a pullback, and we're seeing higher lows with a clean top. So we got to break up this top, and now it's starting to trade above that previous resistance, which could turn into support. And offer an entry above this little shelf that could be forming right here. Nothing spectacular about the fundamentals, but it's okay. ORA, these guys are involved in the alternative energy sector. Beautiful uptrend. Look at this. RS line doing exactly what you want it to do. Higher lows, trading nice and tight against these shorter term moving averages. Broke out last week Thursday, but then that Friday sell off, it just got slammed with everything else. But you know, it was only down 1.43% when the rest of the market really got hammered. So yeah, this one, I'll be keeping a close eye on this one if we see more strength in the overall market next week. And Wayfair, this one got hit hard a couple of weeks ago, but what I like about this one is that it's holding the 50 period moving average, and it's trading tightly, low volume. So we could see this one, really start building out the right side. In that case, I'll be targeting an entry somewhere on the right side of this base, probably with significantly small size, because this is something that I would want to build into if it's going to resolve, if this is going to end up being a flat base or consolidation or something. I will probably start building really tiny positions and keeping my risk super tight, adjusting my stops as that right side of the base form out. And we have REMX. This one is a rare earth ETF, and wonderful uptrend, pullback, broke the 50 period, reclaim, pullback, broke it briefly for 1 day, reclaim again, and what we are seeing here, a pattern of volatility contraction. So we had a big move. Our first pullback was, let's just take this off for a while. So this is our first major move, and then we had a pullback, then we had a smaller move, then a smaller pullback, then a smaller move, a smaller pullback. So we're seeing this stock, this ETF trade super tightly. So we are targeting a continuation of this tightness, which could lead to an explosive break to the upside. Market condition being favorable. That's it. That's all I've got. Yeah, I'll be making another video next weekend just to follow up on these ideas and see how things have panned out. And also something that I want to start doing as well is to start maybe doing few little shorter videos during the week to highlight some of the things that I've learned so far during my journey. I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but I recently completed my CMT level 3 exam, and currently awaiting my results. And I've learned a lot, going through the CMT program over the last 18 months. So I think that I will be doing some little short clips just to, highlight some of the things that I've learned and some of the concepts that I've used to really, improve my game as far as, being consistent swing trader. And why am I doing that? Because during my journey, I've learned so much from YouTube and people who have been selflessly willing to share their knowledge and experience via this medium. So, yeah, keep an eye out. The plan is to start doing a few of those soon. When, I don't know, but sometime soon. That's it. Thanks. Have a great weekend, everyone.